should be live. I'm just going to check on, make sure all the stuff's turned on so comments roll through for everybody and everything going on tonight. But we've been a little neglectful last couple weeks. Family obligations, weddings, deer season prep.
Busy.
Busy, to say the least, as is everybody. So, one
Grab this weekend
bonus episode.
preseason bonus episode here this
hmm
evening.
So, whether you're checking us out on Facebook, YouTube, or after the fact on any of the podcast platforms, thank you very much for tuning in and checking it out. We are actually rigged up to check out your comments real time on our brand new studio board that you guys can't see. It's behind the camera. So we can actually look like we're looking at you guys, and Nate's not looking like he's looking over here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a little bit easier to read and stuff like that. So, um, pretty pretty neat,
it's
dude.
pretty nice.
However, the colors kind of flash a little bit, so I got to figure out how to do that.
Looks
I
all
don't
right
know.
to me.
I don't know. So yeah, so let us know where you guys are tuning in from. We appreciate all the support and everything like that. We'll let a few people get tuned on, and yeah, dude, I got high hopes, dude. Everything's feeling good. 1 year board's coming together. Got a few of the guys on it.
Mm-hmm.
We got one or two guys that we don't know who they are yet. Trying to figure out who Six Pack is right off. I can't connect them to any deer I've got previous history with. I'm just kind of looking at the board from afar over here. Um, and then D hasn't shown back up over at Grandma's. However, that nice 9 pointer that me and Dad passed did show back up. And he's looking pretty good. So, and then there's a big 7 pointer over there too. Big mature seven. Looks like he's at least a 4 or 5 year old. So I think I got pictures of him from last year too. Um, the one other eight that was over there did not make it, and I just got him back from Jesse down there the other day, so that was cool. Be able to put him back together. We're trying to have Jesse come on that night, and he was supposed to bring it, so this is the deer that he forgot the other night. That eight that was over at Grandma's. Nice eight. Mid 20s probably, maybe 30s. Really solid buck, dude. Good.
Broken brow.
Yep, broke that brow off, and other than that, pretty solid buck, dude. Bear found that one. And then I don't know, burying them all, their teeth fall out. So I got to glue in a couple of his teeth, and a bunch of his teeth off his bottom jaw are missing. So I don't know. Yeah,
You didn't kill him.
I didn't kill him. I don't even know how old he is, but he looked like he was 5, 6 years old, dude, judging by his tooth wear on the bottom. So,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, we can't punch a tag on every one of them. Trees and Mother Nature and trees, yeah, cars are gonna get their fair share.
Trees falling out.
Trees falling on them, hurricane. I mean, dude, I saw some of the
Mm-hmm.
hurricane damage in the south, leveling, dude, towns. It's crazy. I'm glad we don't deal with any of that up here.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, it was like Main Street of some tourist town, dude. You could see the mountain in the background and like the trees and stuff, and the whole Main Street, all the houses, like all the shops, everything, dude's gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, well, I can't even imagine.
Time to rebuild.
Time to rebuild. But no, other than that, we got stands are all set. You
Stands are good to go.
help me bang all those out on my place. You pretty much got all yours by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
We did a last minute looky loo walkthrough. Cameras are all out. Most are soaking. We do have a couple good bucks on our lease too that showed up.
Yeah.
So there's some deer around to chase, dude. It's just um I guess strategy going into this early season. Things like if you do have some soybeans that are still green, not very many, because I've seen people hauling soybeans off already. That's kind of going to be one of the main food sources I'd be looking for. Um,
Yeah.
Oak trees, even though the oaks are a little early this year, it seems.
Yeah, they're dropping early. I already seen that. Definitely dropping already.
You know, especially the reds. There was a whole bunch at Hobart the other day. We dropped Nora off. Me and Hannah went out to dinner and dropped Nora off at my sister's place in Geneva there, and there was like 6 deer underneath one of the red oak trees in the middle of the quad.
Yeah.
hanging out eating acorns, doing with a couple fawns.
Townies
Yep.
hanging out.
Yep, loving the acorns, but yeah, I looked at a couple of ours. I mean, most of the reds, they're all pretty much dropped out already. There's a few hanging on some of the whites, but nothing really to target. Um, a couple of our apples, though, key drop apples that we got in some spots when we did a plot check today, me and Dad did, um, on a couple of the fields, seeing how stuff's doing. Corn's looking mint,
Mm-hmm.
so that's gonna set up money right now. It's kind of about the consistency right now of sweet corn. That's kerneled, but it's not hardening off yet at all.
Yeah.
It's
You
kind
guys
of
got yours in a little later than.
yeah, it was later in, and we knew that with a shorter term corn, so I'm not that worried about it. Um,
Yeah.
the deer are chewing on it pretty good right now, though.
So it's just for deer anyway.
Yeah, no, they're liking it pretty good right now. So that's good. Um, it's pretty solid stand too, dude. I thought it was gonna be too close, but with the good growing conditions we had this year, it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, However, a lot of the wheat that I just put in, I got crap for germination on it, dude.
Hmm.
I wish I'd have saved out some to do a germ test on because it just is not popping, in any of the fields. It's there and it's swole and the stuff that Dad put out is doing okay. But I don't know if the stuff that I put out just split started and then didn't have enough rain to keep making it because that was maybe 2 weeks ago now. I think I planted and then Dad planted in the last week. Um, it's just not doing the greatest. So
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. All my little plots look good.
everything good with the audio, Hannah, or are you just down grabbing stuff?
She's grabbing stuff.
Gotcha.
But yeah. So get a little last part card pull for season. Um. Yeah. I got a few nice bucks on camera. Working on. Working on trying to figure out where I want to start the season, I guess, with all the different locations I got to hunt. I have an idea of where I want to start, um, but just kind of narrowing down, looking through pictures, seeing where I would probably be the most successful.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with that. Or I do have one spot that could just be a wild card, and I throw that out there, and I might
The
go. I'm gonna go try that.
the mobile spot.
More or less, yeah.
Yep.
First week or so, I actually might just go mess around with that.
Gotcha. Yeah, the mobile spot, that seems like that's got some potential. The
Oh,
lease,
it's good green out there.
yeah, the lease piece, um, we don't have really any food over there. There's some ag and there's a hayfield. We do have a couple small plots we put in over there, but after the germ test that I got working upstairs, I'm not expecting a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if that seed went through a roaster first. I got to talk to the place where I bought it and see if that went through a roaster or what the reason is for the low germ or yeah, I don't know. Just tough to
Hmm.
say with it, but
Yeah, this sucks.
yeah, it does. Because I tried to hit it with the timely rains and waited and planted later than I typically would because we didn't have the timely rains with it, and then just got crap germ on the multiple places I got seed for grains this year, so I don't know what the deal is with it. Um, so we'll see. Again, broadcast rate versus drilled rate is obviously lower germination rate. I know that obviously, but it's just a matter of it's not.
Seems a little lower than what it should be.
Oh, it's way low, dude. I mean, and it's so like spotty, like finicky spotty. It's weird too. Like some places you would think that it wouldn't be growing, it is, and vice versa. And maybe it's not, wheat that's even germinating in those spots. Maybe it's just other grasses that are kind of germinating and coming up through stuff. So
It could be.
that's tough to say, but not really happy with it. I got to make a call.
But yeah, I meant to show you this before we got started, but I feel like it might be a good time to do that. It's only
I told you that was going to come on like money, dude.
oh, man, it's almost knee high.
That's the 100 proof, dude.
Oh, 100 proof, right on the edge. Never did get out there to mow that, which would have been a little nicer, but
At this point, dude, it's almost just let it ride. But
it is what it is.
that's looking slick, dude.
Yeah. Nice little field edge plot.
Yep. Not getting pounded out either, dude. I'm kind of surprised, but they were in those beans when you took that doe early season. Still.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're out there. They're on camera every day. Um, I gotta say, I'm really not getting the numbers on camera that I usually do. I don't know if that's because of all of the farm crops are still up. Um, I don't know what the honest deal is with that, but it seems like I usually get a few more on camera than what I'm getting this year, but
Yeah, no, I've
we'll
noticed.
see. I have spent a lot of time out there in the off season, so maybe just needed to
Let her soak.
let her soak for a little while. But
Yeah.
yeah, a couple nice bucks. Um, definitely, I would say three shooters out there. One pretty consistent. I wouldn't say daily. I would say probably every 4 days, every 5 days. I'm getting
Hmm.
pictures of him. Um, either late at night or it would be like just before probably like the 5:30 mark. It's
Yeah.
popping through.
So early first thing. So he's bedding close
Yeah.
somewhere.
He's not too far,
No.
but there's so much food out there yet. It's just it's hard to really. I mean, if you don't really have them going to your food source
Well, and everything.
every day, every other day, then that's a little difficult.
Well, and then everything, dude, is so green still. Like we still didn't have that summer brownout, So the deer are really spread out across, the area. I was talking to a couple of neighbors about that. Like we got a couple deer that we've all been seeing or whatever. Um, I went over there, caught up with a couple of them, shared some pictures with them, and talked about them and stuff like that. And we were just saying that it's almost like they're on a loop, like they're just looping the block, or maybe they only saw them once this summer or something like that. Came in, popped in, and then kept going. But um, because even I haven't been as consistent, but I just think it's because the food's just so flush all across the board this year. So we'll see once crops start coming off. Hopefully I can
Mm,
get these plots turned around because I've really kind of banked heavy on this cereal grain stuff panning this year, and I'm light right now on tonnage with that. We're good on the grain side. We got a lot of corn. We probably got 5.5 acres of corn, so we're in pretty good shape with that over a couple different plots. But just not the tonnage, dude. Luckily, I put some radish in with those cereal grains, so there is some good greens coming up out there in those
right.
plots. But and obviously there's some crimson clover and stuff like that coming up in it too, because I mixed in some of the leftovers from the 100 proof mix stuff that I buy extra of for mixing into these late fall blends. And yeah, I don't know. I should have germed it beforehand. I just took what the bag said, and maybe I should have. I usually pull a handful out. Usually gets caught in your pocket when you're spreading it or whatever, and I put it in a wet paper towel and germ test it and see what I get. But I didn't do it with the wheat I threw out, and then so I'm curious, dude. And I'm bummed too because I hooked a lot of people up with that, so I gotta reach out to them and see if they're experiencing similar issues with it, or maybe it's just me.
Well, I mean, even for like the garden situation, I heard a lot of people are having problems with their beans. I don't know if it was just the seeds we got this year or what the deal was. Like even
Huh.
some of the farmers were telling me they were just getting yellow spots way too early
Hmm.
with their beans, and then us trying to grow beans in our garden was kind of a struggle. I think we replanted them three, or Eliza did, about three times before we actually got something to really work. I mean, these are store-bought bean seeds, or
Yeah,
I
just kind of
don't
coming
know.
up looking a little anemic or something, or
Yeah, they just didn't.
hmm.
They just they'd start and then they would just die. I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, we fertilized everything. We kept it watered. I mean, we didn't really have to keep it watered. It was, it rained every other day for how long?
Yeah, and sometimes you can get too much water on stuff, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't be. We're not getting like downpour type stuff on our plots. So like, and the radish is still there and doing great, and so is the crimson. So it's like it doesn't matter. And actually, it worked out pretty good. It was kind of a nice learning thing for me too. Is I put all the wheat in the hopper for the four wheeler because I wasn't spreading like 500 pounds of wheat by hand in a shoulder spreader because I've done that before and it's not fun. So I put it in the
A lot
50.
of walking.
Yeah, it's a lot of walking. So I put it all in the 50-pound hopper, and then before I start, I sprinkle the radish over the top and the
Mm-hmm.
crimson clover right in the top of it. And as you're driving with the wheeler, it
Yeah.
kind of shakes itself down because it's smaller
Yeah.
and comes through. So
Makes sense.
you get a little spotty distribution with your radish and stuff like that. You'll get some spots where it's a little thick, but then there's other spots where it's a little thin. But it's pretty decently uniform. I was surprised how that worked out. Um, so
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, it is what it is at this point. Season's on us, and we're about to have some fun.
yeah.
Have some real fun. The work's behind us. It's about having fun now.
Yep. So looking at
It's
that,
about putting some stand time in. It's about camaraderie with the boys and girls, whoever
yep,
you hunt with, and chasing that chasing that dream.
that
Yeah,
next one,
and
dude.
chasing that next
So
one.
the nice thing is
I'm excited.
we do have that front coming.
I know. Open this coming week's actually looking really good for the first week of October.
Yep,
You hit that Thursday, I think it is Thursday, Friday.
yeah. Even like Sunday morning, dude, they're talking maybe 44 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little early, dude. That's like early for a
Yeah, but it's
morning
gonna get
sit,
them up and
but
moving.
yeah. But I mean, afternoon food source. You got good food source after the rain on Friday night. Saturday could be good. You can see a lot of deer going down Saturday, Sunday, especially if you got, like I said, green beans still that they're still hitting, or beans that still got some regular colored leaves to them and aren't browning out yet. Apple mast, oak flats,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that could be really, really hot for you this first week. Um, Alfalfa fields, corner of green fields and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wouldn't say that I'd be switching over to hunting corn and that kind of stuff yet. They're not carb loading yet, but unless it's fresh cut corn, and then maybe I might go out there if it was combine corn.
I
Chopped corn,
mean,
there's nothing left.
yeah, well, chop corn. I mean, if you're within a week of them chopping it, you probably get some activity out there, but it never lasts long when it's chopped corn.
I've seen more on the combine side that they hit it longer.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
there's more spillage in the field than the chop.
when it's actually shelled.
Yep,
There's picking, shelling, and chopping corn. I learned this. So there's three different ways to harvest your corn.
I'm not a farmer, so please
So
enlighten me.
obviously chopping is for silage.
Hmm.
Shelling is what most of the farmers do nowadays. They go out and they harvest the ear and it shells the ear and just takes the grain off
The
of it,
kernels,
the
yeah.
kernels off of it. Picking is actually when you saw some farmers still do it, not many, a lot of small farms maybe. When you see the old corn bins with the full ears in
Hmm.
the bin, that's
Gotcha,
actually picking.
gotcha.
So there's three different ways that farmers harvest it, and maybe farmers around you do things different, but those are the three ways I know that they do it.
Yeah, so I mean, primarily the bigger farms are combining and chopping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
no,
farms nowadays are
nobody's ear
they're
picking for the
yeah,
most
they're
part.
shelling and and chopping. But there still are places out there that
And maybe if you're Amish, you're out there hand picking. I don't know.
man, they might be hand picking out there with a sickle. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be. Um that I am curious. I'm super excited to talk about my early season hunt. You guys I'm sure saw the post.
Mm-hmm.
So if Ben's all right, I kind of just want to dive into that.
Let's do it.
All right.
First blood, by the way.
First blood took one down. Uh, September 14th, right? Was opening day of,
Sounds right.
yeah. I actually got him on the 13th. No, I'm just kidding. It was actually the 14th. And was planning it with Eliza and Owen for a couple weeks prior. Probably saw the post of me getting the hunting clothes out, washed and ready. drying out on my front porch. Um, and it honestly couldn't have worked out really any better than what it did. Um, we got out there probably because I knew Owen wasn't gonna last long, patience wise.
Yeah.
Like I was figuring we could probably keep him entertained or quiet for about an hour. So I was like, all right, we got to push it a little bit. I don't want to get out there an hour before because they're probably already going to be out in the field. So we got out there about 2 hours before sunset. It was about 5:30, 5:30, and climb up in my little tower blind, and all three of us got in there. It was 80 freaking degrees. If you saw the picture, I was sweating. We got in there, and sitting there, and Owen was doing good. We were kind of, pointing out squirrels and stuff to him and trying to get him to whisper. And
When you have a 2-year-old, how's that work for you?
he does it when you tell him to, then the next word that comes out is very loud. You don't want to save this for the episode?
I was thinking maybe, I don't know. We got this and we got the.
Which one? Nah, we'll just do we'll do
Or not.
yeah, we can play it. Might as well. You pulled it up. So before you play the actual
Yeah, no.
sheets or whatever,
I was just getting it lined up.
yeah, get her lined up. We're in the blind for about an hour. Owen's kind of he's making all sorts of noise, and I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm like, the only way this is gonna work is if those deer come out like 100 to 150 yards, um, to the south in that bean field,
Hmm.
which I was kind of expecting them to, but at the same time I wasn't because there wasn't really a whole lot of green out there, so I wasn't really sure where they were gonna pop out. But Liza picked them out, and they were a ways out there. This doe and two yearlings it looked like came out, um, and they started working with it. And they worked their way back into the thick stuff there, the goldenrod and all the brush. And I'm like, all right, we didn't spook them. They went back in. I said, we still got time. And Owen started really talking. And we're like, all right, buddy, you gotta be quiet. I'm like, shh, shh, you gotta be quiet. We're deer hunting. You gotta whisper. So what we ended up doing was putting a little Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on the phone to try and calm him down for the last hour,
Hmm.
and it worked. And the deer started coming out again. We saw some turkeys, and you'll see all this in the video. It was very hard with all of us in the blind for me to do the video and with all of us in there
And
'cause there's
hunt
no
everything.
room.
Yeah.
Like we were packed in there. So I told Liza, I said, if this is gonna happen, I said you got to run the camera. So the video's not the greatest, and the deer was probably about 120 yards away, 130, with a cell phone. So forgive us for that. But
I think it came out freaking solid.
not bad. It's not bad. It was just like, she was trying to juggle Owen and film with her left hand and like trying to like cover his ear a little
Hmm.
bit because he will not wear earmuffs. As soon as you put them on, he'll just rip them off and throw them.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah. Um, Liza did the best she could, and she did a good job, and we were able to get it done. So here's here's when we decided we were gonna shoot one,
See if I can do
and
this.
ended up working out great, honestly.
There we go.
You got volume? You gotta turn the volume on.
The volume will be on.
You can see the turkey out there. There's a doe, and honestly, that fawn that was with that doe, she it still had full spots, that fawn. So I wasn't even gonna attempt that one. But you can see her out there.
Oh, we're getting a little frustrated.
Yeah, Liza trying to control him and video.
Mm-hmm. Again, dude, phone video from what, 100 and about a buck 30, you said?
Yeah, it was about a buck 30.
Daddy,
Rolling
Daddy,
talking.
Yeah. I'm sure that turkey was looking right at it. The turkey was only like 4 yards.
Tim, Papa.
There's a
There goes the,
shot. There
there
goes
goes
the
the turkey.
turkey.
There goes the
And
deer.
there goes the deer I shot running in back to where she came from.
And then the other one's not knowing where the heck that came from.
No, that one's all confused when they had the real little one
Yeah.
with her. But there was a total of 5 deer out in the field. Um, that video will be on our season 1 that we're putting together. That video and a few other ones will collab together to kind of give you the full hunt. But yeah, I don't know. Could you pull the picture up? Did I send you the picture of all of us with the doe?
Yeah, I can. That's on my phone. He texted that one over to me. I can
But
put that up.
so being somewhat new to this filming thing, and I filmed a few of my bow hunts before, and trying to juggle Owen and everything, I guess I wasn't fully thinking when we went out there to track it. So I went out there and we're trying to find blood out in the field. We did find where I shot her. Found a little bit of blood around that area. And I thought where she ran in was a little farther to the south. But where she actually ran in was actually, she actually ran at quite an angle, kind of towards the blind when she went back in. When we ended up finding her, actually, Eliza ended up finding her. Eliza kind of, you know, last ditch effort to kind of do like a little bit of a loop. And she ended up, her and Owen ended up finding her.
I got this one.
Yeah, that'll work.
The other one's with you guys on the.
At the processor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, that was another thing I was going to talk about. Was before I actually went out, I knew I wasn't going to have time to cut this deer up in time, so I called a bunch of, or contacted a bunch of local processors to actually make sure that someone was going to be open that I could bring this deer to,
Yeah.
and that night, and at least get it in a cooler. And a local one was going to be, so that worked out well. But it took us a little while to find some blood, and but there's always he was great. He was honestly in the blind. He was a little stir crazy. Obviously, 2 year old. He wants to move. He wants to do things. That was a little bit of a challenge. But when we were trying to track the deer and he was out there, he was a trooper. When we found the deer, he was all excited. He was talking about the blood on the leaves, and he was talking about the blood on the deer.
Mm-hmm.
And he watched me gut it. We were gonna see how he was gonna handle that, and he did good. His mom held him, and I gutted her, and it was funny. I got to the point where I kind of rolled the stomach out, and I grabbed some intestines, and I was pulling them out, and he saw the intestines, and he starts going, snake, snake. I was like, yeah, not really. Yeah, it kinda looks like a snake. I was like, but there's not a snake in there. So those are their intestines.
Yep.
But he handled the whole thing well. I kind of feel a little bad for him because I was hoping to be able to find that deer a little faster. The mosquitoes got to him. He had a few mosquito bites
Yep.
the next day, but
Yep.
he survived. Toughened him up a little bit, I guess.
But yeah, dude.
But yeah, that was it was a successful evening.
I would dare say.
The plan came together,
Gotcha.
so I was pretty pumped about that.
Um, I'm excited for you, dude. I got the text from you. I forget where the heck I was. I was out somewhere. I didn't get out for the early arch or early dose season. Um,
Well, we don't usually hunt it. I
yeah,
just went out because I wanted to get Owen out there.
right. And not have to worry about bundling them up and getting cold and all the above
Yeah,
with that too.
and it's a lot harder to take a 2 year old out in bow season.
Yeah.
It's a little easier to get it done with a rifle.
Yep. That's true. That's definitely true. But yeah, no, we were out today. Like I said, we went to the farm and look, drove around. Hannah had a cookie decorating class with a couple of her aunts and stuff like that at Tails. They had an event today, and so I was on dad duty this afternoon, and we went to the farm because I was going to drop my mom off her pumpkins that we got the other day at the pumpkin patch
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't have a place to take them because they were all muddy. So they were riding in the back of the truck. So I was like, "Oh, I'm in Tails. I'll just drive the rest of the way to Lyons and drop off the pumpkins." So we get there, and of course, dad and mom, you know, start talking about the baby, and dad's talking about all the seed he got out, where he got it, and went through the whole list with me. And I said, "Yeah, sounds perfect." We went out there, did a quick drive around, see if we got to revamp anything. And like I said, the stuff he threw out, it's German good. We get a good. I have no issues with because he planted some late 100 proof mix that I found a couple containers of it in the garage. And he's like, I'll just throw it out there. I was like, yeah. I said, I don't resell my old seeds, so
See what happens.
I'm not that seed place or seed person that
It's get some good germ on it.
Oh, it germed great. It looks like a hazy green, nice. We planted a little heavier because we're not looking for that spacing, so we planted a little heavier, trying to fill out tonnage rather than allow for the space to get big. Kind of like we were talking about at the fields we were looking at that client piece the other day,
Mm-hmm.
where the stuff was planted too thick now, and it's getting a little yellow because it's running out of room to grow.
Yeah.
Versus the other stuff, which is really taking off now because it's got space. So same idea there is, but we're putting it in tighter because we have a shorter growing window. I'm hoping to get, if I can get 45 days, I hope I don't go that long without frost. I'd like to have a nice frost in late October, but if I can get 30 days out of it and get a good, you know, 8, 9 inches of good green leafy growth out of the brassicas in that mix,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that. I would definitely, take that for the thing. I know I'm not going to get bulb production, but I'm not worried about that. We got the grains from the corn and stuff this year that we'll be able to, knock down for them to get at this winter. Um, and then I have a plan to do quite a bit of TSI cutting uh, in some of the old orchard sections and stuff like that too planned this year. So I'm not really worried about the food on that side of it for postseason stuff. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we can get some damn cereal grains to germinate. At this point I'm looking at thinking about throwing down another 100 to 150 pounds an acre of rye if I can find some that actually, you know, will germ out good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I'm not happy with the way it germed. Everything else has been great. The brassicas have been great. The radishes, all that's been great. Um, crimson clover, all that's turning out good. Uh, the spring mix is ready for frost seeding. If anybody wants to get it in the fall, you can get it out now, but it's set up for frost seeding into your brassica plots, your cornfield, stuff like that. That's
So
all.
February.
Yep, February, March. That's all containered. Starting to container that up now. I got the mix where I want it. Gonna do a spring mix. Um, and a spring mix with chicory. So you can choose to have chicory in your mix or not with your clover. I got basically two different spring mixes. So you got spring mix and then spring mix with chick. I don't know if I'm gonna call it like summer chick or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Spring
Hot
chick.
spring chicken.
Spring chick.
Yeah, you got spring mix and spring chick.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. We'll see. Um, but yeah,
Chick-fil-A and Red Robin.
yeah, I'm good with that. So yeah, we got that. We got a mix of perennials, biennials, and then one annual clover in there for the clover mixes and stuff like that. Um, but that's all ready for frost seeding. I wasn't gonna try to get on it this year, but everything just got too busy to be able to sell some this fall. But you're welcome to purchase now and get it for the spring, and that way I can start to recoup some of my seed investment money. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But anyway, and if not, I got a whole bunch of clover seed for the next 10 years. I wanted to buy clover
You
seed.
tell you what, that spring mix I experimented with,
That field, dude.
that whole field is red tops.
Oh, and there's some nice perennial coming up
Wow, they
underneath it too.
browned off now, but there's still some pinkish reddish tops out there
Yep,
right now.
that's the
Just
difference.
because I didn't get out there and mow it
Yep.
when I wanted to,
But there's
you
a
know,
lot of nice
a couple weeks
Ladino.
ago.
There's a lot of nice Ladino out there
Oh yeah.
and
Then the
stuff. Isn't it?
grasses, they'll eat the grasses.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, that 100 proof I planted on the edge is probably knee high.
Yeah, that's hitting stride money,
It's
dude.
it's about it's about like that tall
Yeah.
right now. And I did pull some back and seeing if I could see any little bulb. I'm sure there's little bulbs growing under there by now.
If it's knee high, I would say probably your golf ball to baseball at this point.
I didn't want to spend too much time out there.
Unless you got radish. I mean, your radishes, dude. If you got radishes that are probably closing in on a knee high for your vertical growth, I tell people radish at least figure almost three
The
quarters of that is underground too.
outlaw plot I planted in that same field that you guys just saw.
Mm-hmm.
My stuff's 8 inches tall. The whole thing. It's green. Like when they harvest the when they harvest the beans, I'm gonna lose it all, I think, because it's about 6 to 8 inches tall.
Yeah, it
That
depends on.
whole corner. I was like,
Well, it
I'm
depends.
like, that's gonna be money.
I don't think Steve has a flex header, does he?
I don't know.
If you got a flex
It's like
header, no,
rotating beam
no. If you
head.
got a flex head, it cuts way closer.
I don't know.
If you got
He usually has about, I don't know,
good 4 or 5 inches,
they're probably 6 inch stems,
yeah, you'll be
4 or 6
fine.
inch stems.
Yeah, you could be fine.
Even if he nips the tops of them off, and if the weather isn't too rough, I think they might come back.
Bounce a bit.
But honestly, I think I'm probably gonna get some the north one I did. I kind of looked at it, but like I said, I didn't want to spend too much time out there.
Yep, letting stuff
I
soak up.
I had my hunting lower stuff on to try and minimize scent, I guess. But the north one, I don't think did as well. But there's a lot more spacing and there's a lot more deer slash woodchuck damage, groundhog damage in
In the
that
north,
on that no
on the
on the
bottom,
south, which
yeah,
opened up pockets for
underproof to go in.
the outlaw
Hmm.
plot to actually get some sun and it actually took off. But I honestly might get some bulb growth over there, which is going to be money for gun season
That's what,
if it lines up right.
dude. If you have those nice golf ball turnips and outlaw plots, when the beans come off, those are dynamite.
And that's going to be that.
That's dynamite. If you
That's
can
going
get
to be
that,
that.
if you can get that golf ball size, which is what we were talking about on the show. So if you guys been following along to these tips that we've been doing, like our real time stuff, like our sit alerts and like our real time tips, like get out there and do this kind of stuff,
Hmm.
you'd be sitting there right now, going in October 1 with potentially, probably their quarter size right now, but by, prime time, they're going to be golf ball, maybe a little bit better in an outlaw plot.
Hmm. Just a little.
What can you,
It's just a bunch of little sugar candies out there. Think of it as a bunch of little, you know, if you were to walk into a candy store, that's what it is to a deer. But the time is you have to have those bulbs at a certain point. That's why you plant them, the brassicas and the turnips and the radishes. That's why you plant them in that mid-August range, is because at that time when they get to a certain um, point in their growth is when they're the most sweetest. They're the most desirable to the
they're
deer.
not woody, they're not, yeah.
If you have, let's say, because not it happens to everybody. If you don't just completely till up your plot every year and replant it, you're gonna get regrowth,
You're volunteer and stuff.
volunteer stuff, and that volunteer stuff that's been growing all spring and all summer, it's just like wood
Yeah,
by the time you're hunting it, and then
if you're looking at those bulbs that are this big,
yeah.
the deer will just chew a little bit off the side.
Or those turnips that are sticking out of the ground about you can see them they're about I don't know about as big as round as a baseball bat and they're about that tall.
Tillage radish stuff.
It's because they've been in there all
Hmm.
summer and at that point it's no different than gnawing on the bark of a tree. It don't taste good.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Wow, they got these huge radishes, but nothing's eating them." Well, it's because the sugar, the desirableness, the sweetness, the tenderness of them is all
Yeah,
gone.
the palatability side of it.
You want to line that palatability up with your hunting time,
Hmm.
and that's why these things get planted at a certain time.
Yep. And I know a lot of folks, like I was talking to a guy who does a lot of food plots down the southern tier, and he likes planting earlier because his idea is he wants more tonnage. And in an area where there's not extra ag crops and stuff like that, he wants a longer term growth because he wants more bulb tonnage. Now he'll have fields cleaned out of like I would say sub volleyball size brassica tubers and stuff like that. But clean out the fields again, smaller fields. There's different applications for it. But if you're ag country or you have a lot of good desirable food in your neighborhood where you're planting these food plots, I really like that mid-August range. And that varies, like we talked about with the rain and conditions. But I like that mid-August, like Nate says, they're where a deer can pick it up in his mouth and sit there
Like an
and
apple
chew it
size.
and chew it. And
Apple
like,
size or smaller.
yep, and it's not all tough and woody like it's been growing there for an extra month or whatever if you're planting like mid to end of July. And you don't have to deal with as much droughty conditions typically, that you would be dealing with in that July time too. So that's kind of why we planted right on Labor Day. We planted brassicas on Labor Day, more forage brassicas, so we get, leafy stuff. But we really missed that timing this year because of planting other fields, trying to get our stands trimmed out, stuff like that. So we didn't plant then, and we weren't planning on putting brassicas in this year. And then we never got the rain anyway. Cereal grains went in late, and then cereal grains didn't germinate worth the damn. So now it's not too late still. If you have a plot that's struggling or whatever, just make sure your cereal grain's going to germ out for you,
Do a little
and
spot seeding.
do some spot seeding with cereal rye, winter wheat, whatever you want to put out there for your grain. I would love to drill it in. Trying to talk Connor.
Honestly,
You trying to talk Connor into bringing his drill over and just drilling in and
honestly,
get on with it.
honestly, what I think, maybe you'll disagree with this, but I honestly think you could probably still throw some 100 proof out there. You're probably not gonna get bulb germination unless we're like 70 degrees into
You're
November,
gonna get
but you're
greens.
still gonna get the green tops.
I'd go heavy. Yeah, I go heavy with it.
It would still work if you're
Yeah.
just looking for green forage.
I don't have any 100 proof left, but I do have some purple top
The
turnip.
brassicas,
I do have some purple top turnip left and some
I mean, right now you could
devil
even throw some clover out there. It's gonna probably pop.
medium red or crimson. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's gonna pop, but it's not gonna go to its full potential before
Yeah, if you
springtime.
went with a younger, not a younger, but like a more annual or perennial clover, definitely would be a good one to utilize at this point for a late plant, and then to complement that with cereal grain. You could complement it. I would say tillage radish if you can, but even some purple top, and maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just go out in those fields that are super lean, because I don't know what this next batch of cereal grain's going to do.
Well,
I
that
got I got another 7, 8 pounds, I think, of purple top right now.
well, what's the weather gonna do? I mean, yeah,
Tuesday.
the the the, the first week's looking a little cooler, but
Yeah.
a
No,
couple weeks after that,
I'm
we might be back up in the 70s for a month.
yeah, I'm not worried about the temps, dude. I mean, you gotta have when we say frost, when I say frost to kill this stuff, I gotta have it. You gotta have it down in the 20s to really shut this stuff down, like a good killing frost.
Yeah.
Like
And the way the years have been, the past few years,
I think we're due.
I think you get away with it.
I think we can get away with it, but I think we're due too. I think we're due for that good. Um, but yeah, I think we got rain Tuesday into Wednesday is what it's. Let me look for Lions. I'm also looking at the weather fronts here. This would be a good topic. Um, Tuesday into Wednesday, it looks like we got 75% chance of rain, tenth of an inch or so, and then Friday, Saturday, another batch. So I'm probably gonna try to get seed out, at least seed over to Dad, so Dad can get the seed out. If I can't do it for whatever reason, probably either tomorrow or Tuesday. That way we can get it out before that rain shower Tuesday night. Um, Whatever we decide to go with or can line up. I'd like to throw probably 100 to 150 pounds of rye at it, and then half a pound of turnips at it as well. Like you said, use it up, dude. Like I said, any seed that I buy, the clover I'll disclose if it's I have extra next year. I'll disclose it as 2-year-old clover seed, and I'll re-germ it and see what the germ rate will be after that. But
Hmm.
like the brassicas and stuff like that, I don't hold that seed extra, or that's the stuff that gets put in my plots, and that still germs fine. But for whatever reason, the wheat and rye, dude, this year I just had crap luck with it.
Hmm.
I should reach out to everybody else because I know quite a few people got some from me. So I'm wondering if they had the same conditions or maybe I had a pest issue, dude, because I'm not out there checking my plots every day either.
Yeah.
And I didn't look at it because I've seen that in other areas where if you have like an intense flood condition, it's not really a pest issue, but you had an intense flood condition come through, like your plot could be great, but if you had standing water in your field for more than a day, especially those young plants, they could all be dead. Now we haven't had a condition like that, but I know in the south they deal with pests like army worms, um, and some other insects and stuff like that that can come in and wipe out plots in a day. Not saying that's what I'm dealing with, but I guess you never know. But
Yeah.
and again, the longer it sits out there without germinating, the longer turkeys can eat it, songbirds can eat it. I mean, you get a whole flock of starlings or whatever comes through, they clean up a bunch of wheat pretty freaking quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I tried getting a hold of Connor. I'm like, Connor, what would it be to come over and drill like 5 acres of cereal grains for me? Because his stuff that we drilled, it's green. It's a freaking carpet, dude. It looks money.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it does.
But I was like, yeah, I would love to drill it, but I don't know if I'll be able to line up drilling it. I might just be poor man broadcasting it like I've always done.
Well, it is what it is. Like it's
I can't let it go on.
crunch time's over, Ben.
Crunch time's not over, Nate.
It's over.
It's not
It's
over.
time to hunt.
I came back from my honeymoon and planted a clover plot with Dad three years ago.
It's time to hunt now.
It's not time to hunt yet.
I tell you what,
It's coming up.
in about 24 hours,
Pretty close. Pretty close. Was it
you're
Tuesday?
gonna be wanting to be in the stand instead
Tuesday.
of out there spreading seed.
Tuesday. Tuesday.
Yeah.
About,
Today's Sunday.
about 36 hours.
Yeah, whatever. Hold on,
Close enough.
day. That's what I'm saying.
One last day.
The viewers knew what I was saying.
Except for, dude, I have been seeing Jefferson County, Lewis County, Northern Zone guys. There've been a couple guys getting it done with the bow already for the early archery that they got in the Northern Zone.
Yeah. Especially this first week
Oh yeah,
with those temperature,
the little drops of
you get
ice.
those little 40-degree.
Dips.
Yeah. Telling you. I'm I'm gonna be.
Honestly, dude, I'm looking at that Saturday, Sunday. That's looking pretty nice. Other than,
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get out this week, but definitely this coming weekend.
mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking, dude, lows that might be mid to lower 40s for the first week of October, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good potential stuff in there.
You never know.
I can't believe we didn't have anybody comment. Must be we just have riveting conversation tonight.
It's Sunday. Everyone's watching football, eating dinner.
Well, we've had a few people tuning in. A few people
Well,
tuning
check
in.
the other pages.
I am.
I thought I saw Austin chime in on one.
Austin.
Well,
Mm-mm. No, I had a guy message me about some cereal grain. Doesn't have any. I should ask Steve. Maybe Steve got any cereal grain kicking around, maybe?
oh,
It might be worth asking. Maybe Steve's got some. I'll give Steve a call after this, after we get off the air. Sam says I'm listening. Thank you, Sam. It's because we're not giving away cameras tonight. Nobody wants to comment on it.
yeah, they only want the free shit.
Which actually, dude, nobody got. Well, I take that back. Caleb came and got his.
Caleb got his cameras? Caleb won cameras?
No, my mower, Caleb.
Oh,
Um, Bear opens Tuesday. Dan says.
Dan
Dusty,
Festa
the
is,
man, the legend.
he's headed to camp,
Mm-hmm.
from what I hear.
That boy, Dan. Oak Flat. They gotta have an Oak Flat down there
Oh,
or nearby.
he's got his
I don't
tricks
know.
up his sleeve.
I just know his neighbor buried me. But Dan was gonna knock out my lights at the chicken barbecue that day.
Oh man, he's getting a little aggressive there.
No, just all joking aside with it. Dan was like, "So I heard you work for my neighbor." I forget how he said it. Laying out his piece, taking all my deer away or something like. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And my coworker lives like the next road or two over from them, and that's what I was talking to you about or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the telephone game gets going, where Nate was like, "Oh yeah, Ben's coworker," and then next thing you know, it's Jesse hears Ben worked for this guy over there next to you. But no, I know I'd like to get down there to camp sometime and check that out down there. I heard it's a pretty sweet place. You've been down there a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might do another. I don't know. Jesse was talking about. We'll see how the year goes.
Yep. That's region 9, right? There's
Uh,
that 8 still. Might still be 8.
down there in Naples.
Yeah. But yeah, Sam's listening, so thank you, Sam. See, we just gotta say comment. Everybody comments.
Yeah.
So all the regulars. Sam,
Ginger snap.
Dilf says next year plant ginger snaps. It really draws them in. Hmm.
Ginger snaps.
Like
Like,
cookies?
yeah.
Planting cookies
Throw some cookies out there
for bears.
for bears. For bear or deer?
For bear, I heard just go to like the little Debbie truck.
I heard
Those
just throw your
experiment
garbage out in the middle of the woods and you'd be fine.
bear grease and
Yeah.
marshmallows. Light a little campfire maybe. You know, but yeah.
Some bacon grease. Just start dumping it over a stump. You'd be all right.
Yeah, I heard Jerry's been out. They've been having a good time at all the hunts they've been on lately.
Yeah,
Showed me a few things.
Jerry dumped a buffalo.
That's a good point. Breaking news coming in from my mom and dad tuning in. Reminder, this year's DMP first round will end tomorrow. So if you haven't got your doe tags yet, go get your doe tags for the first round.
Ooh.
Good topic. Good, good comment. I'm gonna put that one on the screen. Remind everybody for that one. So, yeah, make sure if you haven't got your doe tags to get your doe tags and make sure you get applying for the right
Terry's
area.
on top of it, man.
Yep. Mom and dad tuning in. Tuning in. But a side by side is nice. We can put mom, dad, had me. Did I show you that picture before we started?
Strap Nora in the back.
No, we strapped her to my mom's like the baby harness, the
Oh,
chest
yeah.
harness, because we didn't have a place like when you, me, and Owen and Nora on the side by side. We put Nora in the middle, buckle her in. You put Owen on your lap, and we just putt slow.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't have that because it was me, mom, and dad, and Nora. So we piled in there like we were going cross country road tripping.
There they go. Brian is always smiling. He is probably the happiest guy I have ever met in my life.
Think they look alike?
Nora, Nora, she's so cute. Oh man.
We had our headphones on because our the side by side we got is a little bit louder than some of the other ones because it's older.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it
Um,
works.
it works, dude.
You gotta get one of them
It's a lightly
electric
used
ones.
gem for sure. Uh, it's a good one, Jerry, for upcoming events. Handgun class at the Newark Rod and Gun Club next weekend. The full 18-hour course.
Is it filled up already?
Yeah, you need to
I
get
mean,
your pistol
it's
permit.
open.
You need to get your pistol permit,
You do need to get it.
except for it's the first weekend of deer season. Might have to do an after deer season one. They got one after deer season, Jerry. It's poor planning.
That is very poor planning.
We're just busting. Might have been when they had a person come in for it. But I wanted to share this picture. Just
Jerry,
because.
just go take it for me. Sign all the papers for me. And then
He is an honest man.
I know he is.
Oh, speaking of that, I just saw this on Facebook, so it reminded me. I got like a bunch of chestnuts this year to start. I was inspired by Sleeman giving us those chestnut trees. I was like, I'm just gonna put these all over my farm. Like, just start plugging them in everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 8 pounds, 9 pounds that I grabbed up to somebody off of Facebook that I saw posted them. Float tested them. Only had a handful that didn't float test out of like the 8 pounds. So I got, I don't know, a couple hundred of them to put into pots this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put some chestnuts together, and we've had good luck with chestnuts. All right, let me get this going. Oh, Sam says check out Rochester Defense. They do a great class on pistol permits as well. Definitely. Oh, and speaking of Sleeman and those guys. This Wednesday, I don't know if you said you might not be able to make it down or whatever. Um,
I'm on blood trail.
it's
I
like
ain't got time.
ain't got time for that. Um, Wednesday, the guys from Just Hunt Club come back down. Mr. Sleeman and Mr. Hanson will be stopping by again um, down here for the show, so that'll be a good time. Um, so yeah, that'll be going on. There we go. Dial it up. Look at that.
Very nice. That is a nice family photo.
I should have whistled. Had my mom look too. But you see, me, mom, dad, and Nugget. I'm sure my dad's gonna be all upset that I put his picture on the internet. Pink. It's gone.
We got up. Now we're flashing up.
Nah, it's just the interface going back and forth off the TV.
The internet just blew up.
Yeah,
Brian's face.
on viral. Uh, Jerry says we'll supply lunch. Buffalo sloppy joes. Yummy.
Jerry, you didn't ask. Is it full or is it not?
Yeah, Nate might be tagged out by then. He might be able to make it.
I'm not gonna be. Wow,
Hey man,
it's
if
possible.
you're out there, if you're out there, it's possible.
I got a couple vacation days yet.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm still waiting for that cold that big cold front, dude. And it's gonna come this year. And 1 year rule line up on them.
If I wasn't chasing a mature buck, I could be tagged out, man.
Yeah. It's, it's right on, dude. It's. Jerry says go to the website and check. So go over to the Newark Rod and Gun uh, Club website and see if there's any availabilities if anybody's interested in that. And then next week we'll have the guys from Just Hunt Club on. And then the next episode will be during deer season for us.
Hmm.
So, uh, number one tip to somebody for the early season, Nate, or it could be a couple tips. What's your advice going into that first week or 2 weeks of season?
My advice is if you don't have anything consistent on camera of what you're looking for, if you're targeting a specific buck, um, just kind of hunt the outskirts, um, smack a doe if it comes up, if you feel the urge to do that. But if you're chasing a trophy, I would just hunt the outskirts. I wouldn't really dive in and be stomping through, putting too much pressure on your property just yet.
Yeah, I think
And I would definitely stick to a little more
yeah,
green food source.
yeah, definitely food. Because they're still slotting in, dude. I mean, I'm still seeing bucks running together in groups.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I think it was, I had a picture last night, 3 bucks walking through all together, no does with them.
yep. So, I think,
And I think they're just starting to really kind of hit scrapes.
oh, dude, they were tore
L-
up today
Yeah, like they're and this week,
after
this
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 rain and stuff.
coming cool October, this first week of October, those cool temperatures, there you can see them scrapes getting ripped
I
up.
would say that's another. If we get like those rains that we're talking about after that rain, that's another early season spot that I found have a lot of success on. Is adjacent to those food sources, that oak flat, those apple trees, the green beans, hayfield, stuff like that. That scrape line going to and from that from bedding can be
Beautiful,
a
man.
can be a dynamite spot. Inside corners can be killer at that time of the year for an evening food post up where all the deer get past you and go out to that food source at night. You can get off. Again, afternoon spots. Typically morning. I'm not gonna probably punch in for a morning.
Don't hunt mornings yet. You're gonna blow your shit up.
Yeah, I mean
Don't hunt
unless
mornings.
you're
Unless you have something dialed in, like a buck you want to kill is going through there at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Don't hunt mornings.
and I would say if you're doing that, it's
Observation.
yeah, observational sets, is something you can do if you want to get out, set a morning spot. After a rain where it might take him longer coming back to bed because he's freshening up a lot of scrapes after that rain, hitting that stuff where he's going to be getting to his bed an extra half hour, hour later than he might have. if you got his bed pinned down, if you're getting super aggressive on him. But that's like you're moving in and you're going all or not. You know what I mean? You're not going to go picking around that spot anymore. You got him figured, you got him picked. You're going to slip back in
I
on his
think
bed that
you're
morning.
gonna do more harm hunting mornings right now than you
Yeah,
will.
I
Give it
agree. Again,
give
unless
it
you
to
got the
me.
intel, dude. If you got the fresh sign and the camera
If I had
intel,
the intel, I would go out in the mornings, but I
I'm hesitant to. I think I've blown more stuff up, like you said, over the years hunting those early season mornings. And
I'd
that was
wait.
back when it was even the 15th of October.
I would almost wait until that third third to fourth week, almost towards Halloween, before I really start hitting mornings.
Week before Halloween. And you got to have a cold front, to have that morning be worth it to punch into some of these
You're
spots.
just gonna bump deer.
Yeah. And just, again, just hunt it smart, guys. Again, it's not, and I know it goes by in a flash. We'll be saying this here end of December. We'll be like, man, that season went quick. But
My bank account's empty. It's
yeah,
Christmas,
my bank account's empty. It's Christmas, guys.
hunting season, and Christmas.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Um, but take your time with it. Don't just hunt your stand because it's your favorite stand. Hunt the stand because it's the right stand for that time of the year.
Hmm.
Have multiple spots. Don't burn them out. Um, you know, we looked at a couple spots where I remember when Nate was with me trimming them. I'm like, hey, dude, I haven't sat in this stand in like 7 years. Nate's like, maybe it's time to sit in this stand again. I was like, you might be right. If I get the condition for it, you might be onto something with it. But
Hmm.
that's why there's stands that I haven't sat in years that we go in and we trim them every year. And there's only been one or two stands that I've killed multiple bucks out of. Every other ones have been, you know, different stands just because I spread out that pressure and um, I don't keep consistent with it. I keep them guessing like I'm not hunting them. And that's kind of my advice is don't burn out your best spot. Definitely don't burn out your best spots. If you're, like I said, sitting observation, sit in an inside corner you can get into and out of or whatever. Um, but yeah, other than that, but yeah, the food source definitely a good one. What's up? Did you mention? Nope, we didn't actually mention that. So with the good weather, we had a little bit of bumper crop this year on some of our fruit trees when we were driving around some of the field edges, the inside corners and stuff like that of our fields. Um, should have been on them a little bit better, or looking at them a little closer. One of our pears absolutely destroyed itself because of how heavy it was. Snapped like 50, 60% of the branches out of it.
Oh wow.
Snapped them all out of it. Just loaded up, dude. Other branches like hanging on the ground. So we went over and dad shook them off. We were at first, and mom's probably I saw her in the side by side laughing. Me and dad are pulling pears off and throwing them up into the tree, trying to knock pears off of the branches. And then at the end of it, we just it's like, I can't throw like that anymore. And I'm sitting there, I'm still picking off a couple. And so we get back to side by side, and the dad kind of looks at it, gets ready to start it, jumps off, goes over, and shit out. Jumps like 50 out of it or whatever. I said, well, maybe that is wrong opening day.
Yeah.
But other than there's no stand within bone to that pear tree. But it's kind of around the top end of top field there. But yeah, the like I said, if you have that apple that drops right now, that pear, if you got something like a Northern Spy, um, some of those other apple varietals that will drop right now, the Kiefer and Ayers pears, those were the ones that we were shaking out today. Mostly just to keep them from, overloading and damaging themselves if we get some heavy wind and rain on them.
Yeah.
We weren't having any intention of hunt all of them, but um, yeah, we definitely got to do some serious trimming on those trees this year. But yeah, fruit, if you got good hard mast right now, or soft mast and or hard mast, that's another spot that's absolutely key. And checking them to make sure you don't get damage on them, you know, for sure. So that's another good tip. If you do have fruit trees out there, especially younger ones that can't quite handle that extra load from having a bumper year like this, you might want to check them and add it to that time where you just put out on the wheeler, grab a couple cameras, not doing too much invasive stuff, and shake out a couple of those, mass trees so you don't have some damage. Like I said, that one pair is pretty hammered. It's missing a lot of branches, dude.
Darn it.
So, yeah, I just cut the head off of it and start training it, and pruning it,
It'll
making
grow
it
back.
better. Well, it might not be the prettiest, but we'll make it look all right. We'll get it producing again.
Deer don't care what it looks like.
No, no, and like I said, there's going to be probably 60 to 80 new pairs underneath it right now, underneath those two trees that we shook out. So, those trees are, I don't know, probably 10, 12 years old now. And I mean, we got probably 50, 60 pairs off of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's actually right by that stand that's in that clump maple that we couldn't get out of the tree. That is just tricky to hunt that spot because of the way the wind is up there. So you kind of got to flank it like we set the other stand up for now. You either got to
Right.
go way in the corner where I shot hornet, or you got to go over by the ridge where we set the new stand. I
Mm-hmm.
can't sit that middle and split that ridge because the wind just doesn't cooperate for it. So, but again, now that we got those two spots there, you can kind of hunt either side with the wind, um, and hunt the deer either coming up out of the bedding or coming down that ridge through the corner of that field toward those pear trees. You just can't hunt directly by the pear tree. But that doesn't mean we can't extend those pear trees toward, the corner where I shot hornet or put a couple in the dump maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But the dump's looking good, dude. That's freaking popping. Solid
Yeah.
radish and clover money. There's no weed in it, like I said. But the radish and clover, I'm glad I threw that in there, dude. So there's at least something,
Mm-hmm.
working in those fields. But I think it's a good place for it. Don't burn out your spots, guys. And just remember, take your time, enjoy the season, and just be smart about it. Do everything with a purpose. And when in doubt, I always do say trust your gut with it. If you got a gut feeling with it, I'd roll with the gut feeling. You know, sometimes I've switched mid walk to a stand, gut feeling changed. Morning I killed Outlaw was like that. I was gonna go to the dump, but I was like, I got in there that morning. I didn't bump any deer getting to the stand before I dropped down to the dump, and I was like, I'm just gonna continue down this ridge nice and easy. Slipped up in that stand, got into a bunch of deer, because the wind worked for both spots that day. The one where you said that how you hunt that stand? One with the platform stuck in the tree. The
Uh-huh.
ladder fell out of it.
Yeah.
That's the one I killed Outlaw out of. And I slipped down to that stand because it was a gut feeling. I was going to go down to the dump, but instead of dropping down the hill, I was like, I didn't bump any deer, so I'm going to continue down the end. Bow hunt. Use previous year's camera data. That will tell you when and where to hunt certain spots. I think I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, Bo. That's another good tip. We'll be also watching the 1 year rule stuff, um, for a couple deer. You know, we got a couple that me and Nate have talked about trying to target over at the farm, and really, we got a couple older age class deer that I'd like to get out of there and open up the space for some of these younger bucks to start slotting in. So I'm sure we'll be chasing them, dude. And we got the new camera arms to be doing some filming with it again, so that'll be cool too. So we'll be able to maybe give you guys some little teaser snips and stuff throughout the season.
Which we did today.
There might be a lot of
Ben did today.
yeah, sorry.
Didn't consult me on that.
Spur of the moment, dude. It's a live show. I'm sorry. So, yep. And it might just be funny squirrel videos. Who knows?
That's the kind of footage you're going to be getting. Don't expect a lot.
Yeah. Set the bar low so when we get just above that bar,
Yeah,
exceed
you guys are
expectations.
all right with it.
So, thank you guys for tuning in. If you liked it, jump over to the YouTube or like and subscribe to any of the channels or where you're watching this from. Let us know in the comments what you think of the episodes or what you'd like to see us talk about. Next week, the Just Hunt Club guys will be in on the show. Nate might be down, might not be down, but we're gonna try to keep these cranking out every week for you guys now that it's season time. Try to stay on that the best we can. Keep giving you the real time stuff on our sit alerts, what we're seeing for sign activity, everything like that to kind of give you guys the updates going through the season. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next time down here at the show with 100 Proof Whitetails. See you.
See you later.
Oh yeah, good luck and shoot straight. Forgot to say that.